Hey, so I'm going to be doing a video today, a story time video, my first story time video, and today it's going to be about a hotel that I stayed in Los Angeles, and that hotel is called Hotel Cecil, but now they changed their name officially to Hotel Stay on Main. So it's going to start with why and how I got to this hotel first. So in January or the end of January of 2013, me and my dad decided to go to Los Angeles for a business trip, for a fashion trip. And we didn't, it was like, because this was when my line first took off, my clothing line, we were getting so many orders back to back. So we were like, you know what, let's go, we need to get this produced. I can't keep sewing these things anymore. So long story short, we decided like literally over the weekend, let's go to LA. It wasn't something planned months in advance. It was literally over the weekend. So we didn't even plan, like we just booked a ticket. We didn't even plan like what hotel we were going to stay in, which is very important. You must always, before you set out, because of this story now, plan where you're going to stay, because you don't want to be, you don't know what's happened in these kind of places. You don't know if someone's been killed there or in the room you're staying, something like that. You just don't know a lot of things. So you just kind of have to plan ahead of time before you set out and go somewhere, because of, you can't just jump somewhere, especially in a city that you're not from. So we decided to go there and just figure out when we get there, because we just didn't know. We're just trying to get there, the next, on Monday. So we arrive in Los Angeles and are driving around. Mind you, this is downtown LA, so we wanted to be near the fashion district. So we're driving around and we come across so many hotels, and again, this is downtown LA. We wanted to be as close as possible to the fashion district so we can have access, literally be in walking distance of this area, and it wouldn't be something where we'll have to pay like a huge cab fare or car fare or whatever to get around. So we were like, we have to find a hotel around here. So all these other hotels are like costing anywhere from like $500 a night, because again, it is the downtown area. So we were like, we just need to find somewhere and find it soon before it's nighttime, because it was like 5. And you're looking around, you see all the homeless people, you see all the people that just look like they're gone, like on some kind of drug. So they were just kind of strange kind of characters walking around. So we just wanted to book somewhere really quickly and just call it a day. So we were also in the cab, and the cab, we had got the cab from, what's this place called? Not LAX, but we had come from Orange County. So we had driven for about an hour on the freeway, and that had already cost us well over $100 in taxi fare, which we've never paid that much in any city, even in London, living in London, or paying that huge amount for a taxi. It was ridiculous. I was like, wow, we just need to get out of here. So my dad was like, we can't stay, he was seeing, well, did I just cross my eyes? That was weird. He was like, we can't stay in these ones right here, because like there's one that we came up to and it was gated. There was like bars, and my dad always has this theory that if something has bars, even in a neighborhood, like if you see a house with bars, don't buy a house in that area, because it's going to be bad. Like something probably happens there they probably break into it, which is a very true theory. Like I've actually seen this theory tested out. Don't don't go anywhere where there's gated stuff. Like it's not really a gated community per se. It's gated for a reason, basically. So he was seeing hotels that had, well, it was more of a motel, I wouldn't say a hotel, and it was like gated. So he was like, we can't stay here, this is dangerous. And he just didn't get a good feeling. And then the taxi driver was so nice, by the way, because he's from Houston as well. So, well, he's from Galveston, Texas. So he was like, he was very friendly with us, and he just turned off his meter. He decided not to charge us anymore, because he knew how expensive the ride had already become, and he knew that we had to find a decent place to stay. He just didn't know anywhere in downtown LA, because he didn't live on that side of LA, so he didn't know anywhere that he can put us. So he was just driving us around for free, basically, at the end, just trying to find a place, a decent, safe place for us to stay. He didn't want to like put us out there, because we're from the same city, I guess. So we finally come to, so he didn't want to, he walked, so basically the taxi driver refused and said, don't go to the one with the gates on it, it's probably bad, like he can tell it's bad. Like he's like, that's like some kind of like, you know, you don't want to go there. They're going to definitely rob you. He's like, whatever you're coming to LA for, they're going to take it, and you're going to be, you know, lost without money. You're going to be left without money, clothes, and stuff like that. So we're like, you know what? Yeah, good. We just dodged a bullet. So we finally come to this one hotel, and this is the funniest part of this whole story. We finally come to this one hotel, and this is the hotel we end up staying in, the infamous Hotel Cecil. And my dad walks into one side. So how it's built up, and this would explain the two names. So my dad walks into one side, and the side he walks into is called Hotel Cecil. And he immediately walked in and was like, "Oh, I don't like how you know, this hotel's old school and weird looking, like it just has a weird smell and feel to it. It's just weird." And truly it was weird. But I had already and he was like, "You know what, we can't stay here." And we were already frustrated not finding anywhere, but he stayed in there for a while. Then I went into next door, and how I'm about to tell you how they're built is they're next to each other. They're the same hotel, but they're basically one whole building, but they have like a separation in between. So I went to the one next door, and the one next door is like a funky looking place and modern looking. And I was like, "Wow, come and see this." Like I told my dad, "Daddy, come see this. This is really cool. Like, you know what, forget that hotel you're staying at. Like, let's go here and let's check in." And he's like, you know, he didn't think twice of it. We didn't think twice of it. He went over and was like, "Yeah, let's go." The prices were really cheap and everything too. So that was like a main attraction. It's like, yay, like we found a very cheap hotel in the middle of downtown LA. Like, let's just book and call it a day. So he came in, and we had already paid and everything, and we were like talking bad even about the so-called hotel next door, which we're about to find out that they're the same hotel. So we're just like laughing and making fun of it. And then we're like, "Oh, thank God we didn't get the one next door." The guy at the front, the clerk at the front, is laughing at us because we're basically the fools. Because when we finally walked in, my dad screamed, "What?" Like, he's like, "What's going on? Like, why are they both joined up? Like, why are we in? I was just in the hotel next door 2 minutes ago. How comes I'm like now in? How comes they're now together? Like, how comes they're now joined up?" So the man next door is laughing, like, "How comes we're now seeing the other hotel open? Like, why are we like staring at the same place I was just in last, that I said I didn't like?" So the man that just signed us in and just basically took our money and gave us a key and everything was laughing and saying, "Well, you do know it is the same hotel. Stay on Main and Hotel Cecil are the same hotel. We just like divided it." So basically it's like a business trick. And reason why it's a business trick is because the Hotel Cecil has a really bad past, which I'm about to get into, and a really bad past. Like, it's had serial killers, it's had suicides. So I guess they smartly made that choice or decision, I'd say, to make those two, to divide it and make it look like this new funky one, you know, is, you know, a totally different hotel. But really, when you go inside, and this is the deceit about the whole thing that I didn't like, when you go inside, they actually meet up and they become the same place, but you will never know from the outside. That's like a really smart business move, but it's very wrong because, like, it's very wrong, but it's very right for them at the same time, but very wrong for someone else because we're basically being tricked. And it's too late. By the time you get in it, you've already paid. Are you really going to get a refund, you know? So I was just laughing. Like, my dad was not having it. He was like, "I can't believe I've just been tricked into staying in this hotel I said I don't want to go to, and I find myself, I've already paid, there's nothing I could do." And they were just looking and laughing. They found it funny. So I didn't like the whole vibe about the whole place. Like, that already just put us both off. And I was like, you know what, this place is so weird. I hope we make it through here. And this is what I'm going to point out, is because continuously throughout my whole stay here, I was always having a bad vibe about this place, like from the beginning, from the get-go, from walking inside. And this is before I knew anything of what I'm about to say. There was always a strange vibe in this place. Always a strange vibe. And if you read the reviews, this is after all I'm about to say happened. I went home. When I finally got home to Texas, I read the reviews after what I knew. And everyone else says the same thing. There's a weird vibe in there. A very weird vibe. I felt very unsafe. And if I was alone, luckily I was with my dad, but if I was alone, I would have had to go and buy some kind of knife or weapon or some kind of, you know, because I don't feel safe. I just didn't feel safe. And I'm with my dad. So before we even checked in, there was something strange that happened that I must say because it's very important to the rest of this video. I don't know how many minutes I have left on this video, but I'm just going to keep going. It's very important to the rest of this video. I'm going to break this into part 1 and part 2 because this is a very long story. This just can't be digested into one video because it's very in depth. But so when I first went in, my dad told the front desk people to help check me in, like help, not check me in. Sorry, what am I saying? Help, no, show me some rooms, because before we paid, he wanted to see the rooms. This was after the whole confusion of the 2 hotels being joined together, but he wanted to see the rooms, and he was like, can we see it? And they're like, only one person can see the rooms, which I thought was weird, because if 2 people are staying here, they both have to kind of like this place. I mean, especially the one that's paying too. So my dad was like, he trusted what I like, and he's like, you go and see the room. So I went up to see these rooms, and I went with this guy, this Hispanic guy, and just remember this man, because this might come, if you're following this story, you might connect the dots at the end of these videos. But I followed this Hispanic guy up, and he didn't know a word of English. So I was very confused why they would use someone who doesn't speak English to show the rooms, when you have how many English speakers at the front desk that could show you the room and kind of communicate back and forth with you. Why would they give me a man that doesn't understand a word of English? What is he? If I'm trying to answer an important question, how are we going to how am I going to communicate with you? So yeah, that was just very weird why they did that. That rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, why would you send someone who I can't communicate with if I need to ask questions about the room? This man didn't, it's not even like English that you can say here, there, and kind of play charades with this person. It wasn't a situation like that. It was a situation where he didn't understand a word of English. He speaks full Spanish, no word of English. It was you couldn't even do, as I said, charades with him. You couldn't even be like this, that, he just didn't understand what I was saying, or he pretended to not understand what I was saying, because he must have had some kind of understanding, as I'm going to continue talking to you about this guy. So we went up, and I was really uneasy with this guy because of them telling me he doesn't understand English, and I had a deep feeling in my heart he probably does, because he's probably done this before. If not, if you didn't understand a word of English, let's just say you didn't understand a word of English, would you take someone on a tour knowing that they might ask you some English speaking questions, and they might want to hold a conversation with you? You'd be like, no, my job is, and he's a maintenance guy there, he's a maintenance worker. I'll be like, no, my job is only to do maintenance and fix things around here, not give room tours. That should be for someone who works at the front desk. That's your job, not my job. He's doing something out of his job description. So that was weird. I was like, don't you have people who do room tours? Why should it be him? That's not his job. Anyway, so we went upstairs, and this man was walking around, slowly walking around from room to room, just opening all the doors. No, he wasn't, kind of just opening doors, but not letting me see a room. So I was like, why is this man just opening doors and not really kind of taking me to look at one of the rooms? And, because it's just really a quick thing. Just show me one of the rooms. Why do you need to open vacant rooms? It's not even like he's opening someone's room that is occupied. He's opening vacant rooms, but not showing me a room. So I was like, this guy's kind of time wasting, but where is this leading to? Are we going to finally see a room in the end? Or what is going to happen? 5 minutes had passed, and I was becoming anxious, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Why are you doing this? But of course he doesn't speak English, as I just told you. So how do I communicate that I'm bored of this and I want to go back downstairs to my dad and let's keep it moving? I don't know how to communicate with this guy, because again, he doesn't speak English. So it's like we're just walking around in circles foolishly. So I'm just following him like a blind fool, because I don't know my way around. I don't even know how to get back to the elevator or the lift if you're British watching this video. So yeah, the Americans say elevator. Anyway, back to the subject. So I'm just walking around confused. Where are we going? Why is this taking long? Why can't you just show me one of these rooms that you keep opening? And as we walk in, he looked at me and kind of winked and was like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, how old are you? You just was not able to speak English 5 minutes ago. How did you put a full sentence of English saying, how old are you? So I'm like, 23, because I was 23 at the time. This was 2013. Yeah, this all happened in 2013, by the way, 2 years ago. So I was 23 at the time. Hold on. I can't remember how old I was. 22 at the time. Yeah, about to turn 23. So, yeah, I forgot my age for a split second. I'm 24 now. So I was like, what's going on? Like I was like, what is like, why are you taking, you know, I didn't know how to explain to him because I didn't know if he'll even understand what I'm trying to say. So I was like, are we gonna, can you show me one of the rooms? And he's like, so how old are you? And what's your name? Where are you from? Because I'm like, okay, so you can obviously tell I have an accent, so you know I'm not from here. You understand English, because there's one thing I've noticed is other races, not other races, but people from other countries, people who are not American or, you know, can't really, like, especially with Nigerians, they can't really tell, like, I'm from Britain or anything. They don't catch the accent because to them, you know, as long as you're not from their country, you're all the same kind of accent. That's how my parents are. They don't really catch an accent like that. So they don't like, they can't pinpoint like, oh, you have an Irish accent or you have a French accent or you have a German accent. You know, it's all the same thing. As long as you're abroad, you're abroad. So this man was able to pinpoint I had an accent. So I'm like, this guy's not just, he's putting on an act that he can't speak, but he speaks when he English when he wants to speak, and he was trying to talk to me. And I was like, not having it. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. Show me a room. So, you know, obviously he doesn't care. I've just given him my age stupidly. So he's like, oh, this girl could be young and naive. Continues walking around and takes me to this elevator or lift, should I say, for my British friends watching. Takes me to the lift and takes me, he doesn't show me any room, takes me down to the lift and takes me to this lift where it takes me into the elevator and it opens up. And it opens up on like this basement kind of place, like almost like the lowest floor of the hotel. I don't even know if it was the lowest or highest. I wasn't even looking at the numbers, but I felt like it was like the lowest. It was a basement. It was like a maintenance place. And it literally opened up and there was like no kind of like floor. You were like in front of where you see kind of industrial looking things. And I was like, where am I? Like, this has nothing to do with what they told you to show me. And he held his foot in the door and was saying, speaking Spanish to these other guys, other maintenance workers on the other side of this room that I'm looking at. And I was like, oh my God, this is how my life is going to end. This is creepy. They're not going to, my dad's not going to know where I went. And he's probably going to lie and say that I decided to stay in one of the rooms. This is going to end badly. Like, I got that bad feeling. Mind you, I don't know what has happened in this hotel. I don't know anything about this hotel because we didn't review this hotel. So, but I'm getting that kind of vibe that this is wrong. Something is wrong about this man. Something is wrong about the way he looked at me. Something is wrong about what they're saying to each other in Spanish that I cannot decode. I'm going to take a break and part 2 of this video will be back later because there's a long way to go. I'm probably going to have to break it up into 3 videos because my, you know, this is a very long story. So I hope you enjoyed the first part. We're just getting there. Bye.